Hey guys, I just wanted to do my review of The Gifted episodes 3 and 4 of season one, Exodus and Exit. I haven't been able to do any reviews. I know it's coming up very late, but like I said, I got a new job. I had a lot going on this past week, and so this is why I'm going to be doing this, and then hopefully getting to an Arrowverse recap and also a reaction video to The Walking Dead. But right now, I'm just going to work on this and what's happened in both. What's happened in episode three. It basically Reed being making a deal with Turner from Sentinel Services agrees to track down a mutant who was working with the Underground and was helping. It was like one of their connections. It was at that like seedy bar. He agrees to help. He agrees to help track down the sell out the Underground in exchange for his family getting amnesty. Turns out that he has a change of heart when he meets this woman and her, like little girl, like a young who's also a mutant. Their husband got taken away, and and she's able to like take away like a physical use her powers to take away the physical pain that Reed's in, and it makes him have a change of heart when they're driving in the van to go meet the mutant Underground, and then Turner's trailing them, and then he starts to basically confess to everybody in the van, what he did, and he decides just to protect them. He gets out of the van while it's still moving, and when Turner gets pissed off, he just about what he did, about making a mistake, Reed just says that I almost did, and he can take the deal and shove it up his ass. And meanwhile, Thunderbird is trying to teach Blink how to use her powers, like get a better handle on it. But the problem is she doesn't have anybody she truly cares about to get a handle on it. And then he also figures out that the Struckers like ran off to go meet with that Caitlin took Lauren and Andy to go meet up with her brother Danny, who has government connections and is trying to find a way to, I guess, help Reed and not have to resort to, fighting and basically just try to help with their cause within the confines of the law. The problem is that when they meet up with Danny, one, they find out that everybody he's affiliated with, government and otherwise, don't want to be affiliate, don't want to have anything to do with him, knowing that his sister, a niece and nephew are fugitives, and and also the fact is that Danny's son is stupid enough to text a photo of like a trophy that Andy is able to break using his powers, and so the locals come and like ambush them. But it's only but then Thunderbird and Eclipse are able to come or manage to find them through the former's powers, and basically they escape in an SUV, Danny's SUV, while Danny tries to hold off the locals, and desperate Dreamer has to use her abilities to give Blink a false memory of being with Thunderbird, and that's how they're that's how she's able to open up a portal and get everybody to safety away from the locals who was trailing them with like guns and other kinds of weapons. And basically it was a memory of I think it was like Thunderbird and Dreamer being intimate because they were an item, but they decided not to formally date just because they wanted to focus on the cause. And Thunderbird gets pissed at Dreamer because of the fact that it's going to complicate things now that Blink has this false memories of being intimate with Thunderbird and being in love with him. And then it leads to, but then they decide to focus. But then once everybody gets to safety, decide to focus on getting Reed and Polaris out. Polaris is so too pissed at Reed, just because of like all the crap she's been through while she's been in prison, and even when Reed asks for his forgiveness and tells Polaris the situation of knowing his kids were mutants and not realizing what pain he was causing. Polaris just tells him to shove it, and that she's never going to forgive. He can ask for the forgiveness of everybody else's lives he's ruined, but not her, especially. And Eclipse wants to get information about the prison they're being held in, and wants to figure out, I guess like the route that they're being moved to, where they're going to like another like relocation center, where basically if they don't break them out now, there's no shot of like getting them out ever. So Eclipse has to go to his former girlfriend Carmen, they used to be part of a drug cartel, but now she's taken over the cartel and has become far more ruthless, especially because of the fact that Eclipse left Carmen for Polaris, and now basically Carmen says that he forces Eclipse to use his powers to torture somebody in exchange for the information about the transport route. And basically Lauren and Andy are able to combine their powers to take out the bus that's transporting Reed and Polaris. The problem is that there's a mutant named Pulse who has the ability to negate superpowers and take out electronic equipment. He's somebody who was a part of the Mutant Underground. Thunderbird thought he was dead and thought he died trying to escape from a relocation center. But apparently, I guess he's like working with them somehow. There's not really an explanation as to why Pulse is helping the Sentinel services, but it also causes complications when most of the Mutant Underground can't use their powers. And out of desperation, Reed convinces Polaris to use. But eventually, Thunderbird knocks out Pulse, and then because Reed and Polaris are in a bus where there's hardly any metal inside, Reed says just to use the metal in his I guess like a knee implant that he had to get just to like help break them out. And so the plan ends up being successful, but there's also the added complication of I think someone gets injured or killed, and then also Thunderbird telling Blink that they've never been in a relationship, and she doesn't really take it very well. But I'm kind of glad that they just basically I'm just glad that they wrapped up the whole Polaris thing being in jail, because I didn't want that to be dragged out for too long or dragged out for most of the season. So now it'll be interesting to see what kind of traction it gets, or like what direction this season's going to go in now that that's whole thing is wrapped up, and Reed's freed, Polaris is freed. So what do you guys think of the show so far? What do you guys think of the last 2 episodes? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. If you like this video, like, share, and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys soon. Take care.